Get up with Zion. Did you see him last night? Putting up numbers only Michael Jordan ever had before. Don't miss this right off the top. And then decision day is closing in for TV 12. And the question is, what is he looking for? We've got that answer coming up. And then they are my least favorite words in sports. But in the case of one of the all-time greats, they might just work next year. All that and more in this hour of Get Up, starting right now with that man, Zion. Game of the night. One of the most entertaining games of the year because he is just must-see TV. Second quarter, pick it up here. Richard Jefferson, look at him working on the big fella.
This is a grown man. Look at that. He can go through anybody at any point in time. Doesn't matter the size.
That somebody there was Hassan Whiteside, who has all kinds of size, and now he's turning defense into offense. He made the steal, and he gets
get on my way.
On the other end, he's just a grizzly bear. I've run out of words. Look at this.
Go through them. You can't put a smaller guy on him. You can't. Carmelo was one of the originals. You put a bigger guy on him. That's
Charles Barkley in the house off of this ball screen. Right, have a backdoor on the backside.
Head at the
Seth, the elevation, Seth Greenberg.
You can throw it anywhere in the universe. He's catching it and finishing it.
He had 16 minutes in the first half. He scored 17 points. 2-point game. Third quarter, good game. Drew Holiday, no. Zion, working hard inside, yes.
I think you got to put a body on him.
Look at the league.
Trevor Ariza was using all of his body weight.
That was Lonzo Ball finding him. Now the Pelicans are up by 7. Starting to pull away. Look at this. And there's just, what are you going to do with that? There's no way to stop it.
You're not guarding him with a small forward, I can tell you that much.
No, look at his teammates like, oh, this is not good.
One possession later, look, he can dish him out as well.
Well, he is only 6'5", so he can be a guard.
He is a terrific blowing passer. He's going to take a little bit better care of the ball, but he's a great passer.
Yeah. They pull away. They're up by 24 points in the fourth quarter, and Zion still out there. He would play 28 minutes, scored 31 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists.
Where's my guy Ja?
Pull away and win.
Forgot
big.
about him.
And take a look at these numbers, okay?
Forgot about him.
Anytime you're on a full screen alone with Michael Jordan, you've done something right. Those two are the only players now to, in their first 10 games, score more points than they had minutes played twice. That's pretty remarkable. And anyone who's old enough to remember Michael Jordan's rookie year, and I certainly do, and Seth, you do, it was a sensation unlike anything we had ever seen.
I was a child at that time.
Yeah, I understand that. You were babysitting me. One way or the other, the point of it is, that's the kind of stuff this kid is doing. I mean, we forget now sometimes that he's played 10 games in his NBA
He's 19 years old. He's played 10 games. He reminds me of Charles Barkley. And Charles Barkley, as a rookie, was 22 years old.
Right.
His ability, the thing that the most important to me, he knows exactly who he is. He knows who he is and how he wins. And that's the way Charles was. Charles didn't settle. He got to the block. He caught it. He was bigger, stronger, more explosive than other people. He didn't settle to be a jump shooter. He drove it and played downhill. He was relentless on the glass. And when I think of Zion, I think of this. And I love that Zion doesn't settle. Think about this. He scores third most points in the paint. He catches the ball on the move. And when he catches it on the move, he plays to and through. Hassan Whiteside, he's a pretty good shot blocker. No, not so fast. Put him in a ball screen. Again, he's catching it on the move. He plays downhill. He doesn't settle. He plays through the chest of the defender. And forget about if you put him in isolation against a small forward. Catch, rip, face. You think he's going left? No, he works to the middle. And you know what? That's no contest. Absolutely no contest.
And let me say this, as one of the elite athletes in American history, when you're going to talk about Zion Williamson, he's going to be more athletic at 23, 24, 25. The great athletes, LeBron James, guys, that have been really high-level athletes, that 19-year-old, that's just the beginning of his athleticism. He's going to get more athletic. So all the physicality that we see now is only going to be more impressive.
You guys have said that you can lob it up anywhere and he's going to make the play. But if you're his teammate, are you thinking, is that kind of a double-edged sword? Because at the end of the day, we're all going back to how can he sustain this and stay healthy through that?
You have to be a little bit more cautious, but his teammates are just playing basketball. And a lot of times they're just trying to see what he can do, where he can catch it. So some of these balls, they've got to be a little bit more selective.
But he runs the floor. Like, he's got the third most points per game in the paint in the NBA. Think about that. Because he knows who he is.
Since he started playing.
But Coach, I mean, these 10 games, the stats are the stats. You talk about those lobs. He runs the floor. That back door that he made in the highlight, he reads defense. Hassan Whiteside turns his head. What does he do? Bam. He's to the front of the rim. He's a guy that understands exactly who he is. Think about all the guys in the NBA that show people what they can't do. Joel Embiid at times.
Yes.
Now you see a guy like this who 100% plays to his strengths, and that's why he's so dominant.
Is he better than you expected him to be at this stage?
No, he's exactly where I expected him to be. He was the guy that was going to win Rookie of the Year had he played all year. I think Ja Morant has taken over that because his team has been successful and he's been a great player. But if they both would have been playing these first 10 games to start the season, if that would have been his first 10 games, there would have been no way there would have been anybody else up for Rookie of the Year.
Well, the thing is, because we play all these highlights, Ja Morant's doing the same thing each and every night, but in a different way. He's doing it by no-look passes. He's like the Patrick Mahomes of college, of the NBA. He finishes at the rim. He makes plays. But this dude, he's captured our imagination at a level that's I have not seen since I've been watching the NBA. Yeah. And by the way, I was a little older when
Yes, I understand.
Oh, man. It's all about the age here. Hey, speaking of age, Tom Brady, he's still trying to do it. And his future continues to be the biggest question of the NFL offseason. So far, the 6-time Super Bowl winner hadn't given us any clues about where he'll play in 2020. So one idea we've been discussing this week on Get Up, as it's been brought to us, is the Cowboys being a potential landing spot for Brady. Well, that idea did not sit well with our friend Marcus Spears. This is a tweet that he sent out yesterday. If Brady went to the Cowboys, which would be a dumb move by both, who would play quarterback for the Cowboys in 2022 when Brady retires? At Get Up ESPN. So there's the tweet, but let's get the big Swagoo live and in person. He's already shaking his head. Marcus, just take it away on this idea.
First of all, who the hell came up with that idea? That's number one. That might be the worst business move that I've heard in football in a long time. Talking about winning a Super Bowl when Tom Brady comes. What if you don't? And then Dak is out of the building. Now you back at square one without a quarterback. You don't know what you're going to do for the future. And you sitting there with Tom Brady, who, by the way, look, listen, all right, I want everybody to contextualize this. For as great as Tom Brady is, and I don't think he's fallen off a cliff yet, the man is about to be 43 years old. So at some point, Tom Brady going to walk into somebody's front office and be like, to hell with it, I'm done. And I'm going to the crib. I told y'all weeks and months ago, Tom Brady needs to go to the LA Chargers. If the Cowboys sign Tom Brady, that means either Dak has left or they put Dak under a franchise and nobody has matched it. I will no longer watch Cowboy football games, and don't ask me another damn question about them.
All right, let's not start making threats like that. Let me throw this question at you here, Marcus. Let me throw this at you. Because if Tom Brady does show up there, whoever the next quarterback is, he might be playing under the glare of 1 or 2 Lombardi trophies. And at the end of the day, if you get one of those, isn't it worth whatever it is you don't have on the back end?
No, it's not, Greeny. What are you going to sacrifice? We've talked about the opportunity to win a Super Bowl with Dak, and I get it. I get how much and coveted the Lombardi is, especially for Jerry Jones. I don't think Tom Brady brings you a Lombardi in Dallas. I've told you guys this. I think Tom Brady brings you a Lombardi if he goes to the Chargers, because that system and that structure is already set up for him to have success. Is Jason Witten going to come back? What's the one thing Tom Brady has had his whole career to hang his hat on? Rob Gronkowski. Who's responsible for a lot of that playmaking when the New England Patriots won the Super Bowls? Rob Gronkowski. Hunter Henry is in L.A. I know he suffered some injuries, but based on how he played when he was healthy, anyway, that's a tight end that they can move with.
Well, they got to sign Henry anyway out the Chargers. But I agree with you in terms of I agree with you in terms of Brady playing for the Cowboys. There's no match there. I understand that the playmaker had that conversation with somebody over a little vodka and cranberry about the possibilities, but Lord. Come on. but I understand
First of all, Key, what's up, man? Key, my OG. I don't know if you know that, Greeny, but Key is my OG. Key was in Dallas when I signed as a rookie, saw me go through my injury. My man was right there with me going through my injury, staying in my ear because he had dealt with that monster Bill Parcells for a long time until I figured out that I love Bill. But I miss you, Key, man. I know you're doing your thing out there on the West Coast. I got to come see you, big homie.
Okay, all right, for sure. Back to Brady. I think, though, in terms of Brady and the Cowboys, there's no match there. Get the deal done with Dak Prescott. Tom Brady does not, at 40, I thought he was like 41. He's 43.
He will be 43 in August.
At 43 years old, trying to go learn a new system and new receivers and all that you have to consume doesn't make any sense at all. Whether it's in San Diego, LA with the Chargers, whether it's in Dallas, Chicago, whoever needs a quarterback, his butt's going to stay right in.
Well, you need to sit down with Tom Brady and tell him that because he thinks otherwise at this point.
He's enjoying this. You think
that he is. You don't believe that he is taking this
for one bit.
You don't think that he is serious about leaving the New England Patriots.
For one bit.
You're wrong.
No, I may be wrong, but until he leaves, I'm right.
Jeff, I'm going to get Swagoo back in a second. But give us a sense of what you think the process is here now and what you think Brady is thinking.
He is absolutely addressing this with every intention of exploring free agency. Now, whether that happens after he sits down with Bill Belichick, that will be the key because they're going to have to sit down before free agency starts to decide whether they move forward. But when they do that, it's going to be the equivalent of marriage counseling. And if they cannot both make concessions and get to a better place, and Keyshawn, I'm telling you, it's not in a good place right now. They need to get into a better place if Tom Brady is going to stay in New England. That's the only way he stays in New England.
But I don't disagree with you on what type of place they're in because I don't know. But I could tell you this. A guy drafts me in the 6th round and I played for him for 20 years. There's going to be some disagreements.
For sure.
100%. All Tom needs to do is address the issues, which is I need some players to help us win. You don't walk off after throwing a pick 6, even though it wasn't his fault.
Right.
You don't walk off doing that when you're Tom Brady. Again, and I think I said this on the show yesterday with you guys. Name a quarterback or any position that is legendary with a franchise that leaves because they don't want to be there anymore. No, they're cut, they're injured, they don't want him anymore. That's not the case with the New England Patriots.
They
That's
need to
all
show
I'm trying
that.
to say.
If they show Tom Brady that we do not want you to
How many
leave.
times every single year, I'm going to put me in this category as germ spreader.
Yeah.
Every single year, we come on shows and we say, they've got to show Tom Brady that they're committed to doing this. They've got to get him a receiver. They've got to replace this. Or he's going to be mad. And what happens? Tom comes and he's out there throwing it. His wife and kids are in the stands and everything is kumbaya.
Yes, of course. They were in the Super Bowl 3 of the last 4 years, but this past year, it really went sideways because the Antonio Brown thing blew up in their face, and then they really didn't have the weapons. Go ahead, Swagoo.
The whole Tom Brady to New England thing blows my mind. Like, him staying in New England to me is not that cut and dry because, like Key, you're a straight to the point type dude. Why in the hell hasn't Tom Brady said, I'm staying with the Patriots?
He's never said
everybody
that,
keeps talking about, well, he wants to. He's never had this type of conversation around him about if he's going to stay either.
But he's enjoying it too.
It's
You got
never
to
been this
understand,
polarized.
Swagoo, he's enjoying this moment.
Man,
this is the first opportunity.
Right.
This is the first opportunity ever that he gets to. Okay, let's assume he does get on a private jet sent by a team owner. This is the first time in his career that he'll be able to do that, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, I anticipate he's still signing with them.
If he's doing that, then Jeff and Keyshawn, if he's doing that, is the relationship as good as we think it is, or you think it is, Key? Because I know if I'm Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots organization, I don't want to be held hostage by it. I still got to make moves. I got to figure out for 52 other guys what the situation going to be next season. So if you telling me I'm in a relationship with you, technically right now we still married or we still holding hands walking through this thing, but also I know that the possibility of you leaving is real and out there, and you not telling me anything to reassure me that you coming back. You telling me the relationship is not different?
Swagoo, it's not that he's not telling them, he's not telling us. See, we don't know in New England, Greeny, as you know, we don't know what that conversation is because we don't know, and the New England Patriots will not tell you anything but what they want you to report.
Let me just ask about one other piece of this, and then I want to get to some other things, but that is the role that Robert Kraft can and theoretically will play in this. He has gotten involved in the past. Certainly, according to all kinds of reporting, he was seriously involved.
Right.
There was a triangle, if you will, between Belichick and Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo. That seems to have gotten smoothed over the course of time, the relationship. Now you're saying it's gone sideways. Does the owner play a role in this?
I don't think he will. Honestly, I think that he will do his best to tell Bill Belichick that he wants Tom Brady there, and he'll tell Tom that he still wants him there. But ultimately, honestly, from my conversations, I believe that he will give Bill Belichick to do what he wants to do here. And Tom Brady, he allowed him to not have the franchise tag placed on him this year to allow Tom Brady the freedom to do what he wants.
All right, I have very limited time, so I want to just jump to the Dak Prescott part of this because, Swagoo, I want to throw at you something that Keyshawn has been saying here as we talk about Dak in Dallas. Because Swagoo has been talking about how if they franchise him, he shouldn't sign the franchise tag, and he should go to Cabo and do what Zeke Elliott did. And Keyshawn, I know you have serious reservations about that. Tell Swagoo why.
Well, he's a quarterback, first of all, Swagoo, and he needs to sign the franchise tag so he can be there with his teammates. Quarterbacks don't typically hold out. I know a lot of people out there feel like he should set a standard, but that's not the case. He should just sign the franchise agreement. You have from March to June, they'll get a deal done. They'll get a deal done.
But if they don't, your concern is that the tide of public opinion and other things will turn on Dak.
And you may not feel this way, Swag, that I feel like if he doesn't sign the franchise agreement to get a deal done at some point in time, then all of a sudden the real numbers will start to leak out, the contract negotiations will start to leak out. It'll put him in a bad position that he's never been in, quite frankly, in his career. He's never been in that situation where people is kind of like turned off about it.
Here's my thing with Dak. Here's my thing with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott was drafted in the 4th round, and obviously you get 4th round money. You perform at a level higher than that. You got player bonuses. You got stuff that comes along with that. But at the end of the day, Key, if I'm Dak Prescott and I'm his agent, I don't give a damn about public perception. What I give a damn about is the fact that I've been a high-level quarterback for the last 3 years. For the last 3 years. We're not just talking about Dak Prescott getting a new contract after this record-breaking season he had for 3 years. Everybody remembers when I was sitting here in Dallas when Tony Romo got hurt and everybody thought the history of the Dallas Cowboys was over with. And there was nowhere to go after that. And they were in a dark place trying to figure out who the hell going to be the quarterback and how many years are we going to have to struggle until we find another guy. Inserts Dak Prescott in 13-3. Scott Linehan comes in, play calling not up to par like it should be. Dak Prescott makes plays. This team has really been built for Zeke and this offensive line to have a lot of success. Quietly, Dak Prescott has been the most important player for the Dallas Cowboys offensively for the last 3 years. Now,
no question, but
so,
I never said
we can't continue.
I was going to say, I never said that they shouldn't pay him. They should pay him, and I believe they will pay him. All I'm saying is don't get caught up in the agent negotiating game. I know you say, well, agent don't really care about public reception. The agent is just trying to recruit for the next player by getting the best deal on paper.
No question.
We don't really know what the numbers are. We don't know if it's $80 million of guaranteed money. Is it Carson Wentz money? Is it something like Aaron Rodgers got? What's the percentages? What's the current value? We have no idea about that. But I can assure you that they're certainly trying to pay him. They just need to get closer to get the deal done.
Yeah, and over here, Jeff has reported that he's asking for no less than what Russell Wilson was paid. Okay, let's bring a tweet in here, guys, because I have to show you what Stephen A. thinks about all of you here. He says, yo, Marcus, why is everyone your OG? Like you're too young or something. You're as old as Keyshawn. And with this Tom Brady discussion on Get Up, it's not about the future, just this year. Bottom line, pay Dak, or he needs to get out of Dallas. I'm heading to First Take, so we'll see him there. But Swagoo, what do you think about Stephen A. calling you old?
First of all, OG mean original gangster. That's a term of endearment, which he should know. He started calling me Nugie on First Take, which is probably the worst nickname ever in the history of nicknames. And that's what I call dudes that I have a lot of respect for. I call them my OGs.
I actually think Keyshawn is, and I mean this with nothing but love and deference, substantially older than Marcus, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so.
You're 47?
Don't I didn't tell you
I looked at that.
Swagoo, how old are you?
Keyshawn's never heard of Wikipedia.
Swaggo is not even 40.
Swaggo's like 36.
You're a public figure. Your age is easily accessible. All right, coming up, if Drew Brees returns to the Saints, we have a radical idea of how they should use him. It involves a phrase I absolutely hate. You'll hear it. And it is the story in the NFL since the Super Bowl. What will Tom Brady do? One of our crew thinks he should leave New England. He'll tell you why coming up. Swagoo, he's very young. He is the new G. And I mean that. And I don't even know what it means. We'll be right back.